Hey guys, I'm back and today I'm going to very quickly do the first official update to my No Pan Left Behind series here on YouTube. If you're new here, I will link my intro down below, but long story short, I want to use every single eyeshadow in my collection at least once, and I think I'm on track to do so. So, for those who did not watch my last update, please go do that. Well, you don't have to. I can't force you to do anything. I rolled in 4 palettes and I have successfully used all 4 of them. Spoiler alert. So let's talk about them a little bit, my thoughts, and then I'll talk about the 4 or 5 palettes that I picked for the upcoming month. My laptop is like in a pile of stuff right now, so I don't feel like going and digging it all out, but I believe I have 33 or 34 palettes. So if I'm doing at least 3 palettes a month, I'll be on track to like finish by the end of the year. And I already had one done when I started this because I used one in like the first week of the year. So we're like definitely on track and I'm not worried about that. So now I get to kind of like have a little more fun with it. Anyways, one of the first palettes that I rolled in was this Laura Mercier Eye Art Artist palette, and that's because this type of year is when I'm really in like cool tones, purples. That's like the vibe that I'm going for. And I used every single shade in this palette at least once, and then the shades that I used twice were Sparkling Dew, this shade, Plum Smoke I used twice, Violet I used twice, Violet Ink, and then I also used these 2 browns twice, so Truffle and Espresso Bean I used twice. So those are all the shades that, oh, and nope, I just can't count. Okay, those were the shades that I used twice. Everything else I used once. I do like this palette. I feel like this palette is akin to what I was saying about my Dior palette, where it's very easy to use. I think that there are a lot of different things that someone might want from an eyeshadow. And I think some of these like luxury, the branding of the brands is more mature. I think that those consumers, or they think their consumers, want a shadow that's really easy to blend and isn't going to look crazy, like is going to look very soft. And so these I've noticed, I don't want to say fade, but you can't get like full crazy pigment with these. The only exception is like when I use these 2 last shades as a liner, I can get some pretty good pigment, but everything else in this palette is just easy to use, easy to blend out, super chill. I like it. No big feelings about it. I will gladly reach for it again when I'm feeling like a true purple. Another palette was my Smashbox Cover Shop Matte palette, which was my 2023 Pan That palette, hence why it looks like this. Whenever I reach for this palette, I remember why I love it so much and why I hold on to it. It is so easy to use. I love throwing it in like a bag when I'm traveling for work, or even when I'm just getting ready in the morning and I don't want to think about it. I have like 3 or 4 go-to looks where it's like 2 to 3 shadows used. Really easy. Obviously this shade is a go-to shade for me. I also really love this shade as well. Those 2 are just, they blend super nice. It looks nice. Yeah, no complaints about this palette. I used every shade in this palette once, except this one I used twice. So yeah, good to go. Would definitely consider trying to pan, but I think if I did want to try and like pan it completely, I would just get I would reach a point with these 2 shades where I just like, I'm no longer interested in using them. This shade can be a little patchy, just a little bit. And maybe because this palette is so old, might not be the actual palette's fault. It might be because I hoard makeup. So that, I don't want you to hold that against Smashbox in general. But I feel like if I did ever try to like finish this palette, I would use kind of everything except the black, because I don't think I could ever completely use up a black, and the purple, which is a shade editor. Just, I would use it and I would probably get pretty good with it, but I think if that was the only shade left in that palette, I would be like, no, I'm good. Then I have my Tartelette in Bloom palette. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Like if I had to get rid of all but one palette in my collection, it would be down to this or the Tati Beauty Texture Neutrals. I think I would keep Tati Beauty just because you can't get that one anymore. So like in my head, I'm like, if I ever wanted to repurchase this in the future, like in this hypothetical world where I can only have one at a time, I would keep Tati Beauty and then use it up and then probably repurchase this after, because I love this palette. I'm wearing it today. I used Firecracker, Sweetheart, and Rebel. Yeah, Rebel. I know all the shades. This has been in multiple project pans. I did it in my Pan Those eyeshadow palettes, which was 2022 project. And I also had it in project pans before I started on YouTube when I was just doing them for myself. I used every shade in here once, except I used the shade, what is that? Jet Setter twice, and I used Rebel twice. So an oldie but a goodie, would reach for again. Would travel with. I love that palette. It just kind of has everything that I need in order to get a couple different but kind of just effortlessly beautiful looks. And then the last palette I rolled in is my Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. I used everything once, except I used both the mattes twice. I love this palette. I have a hard time just using this for like a long extended period of time, because I can really get 4 or 5 looks with it. Like mattes with green on the lid, mattes with brown blue pigment on the lid, matte with this color on the lid, and then I could do kind of like an all matte look, and then I guess I could do like some sort of graphic liner look if I wanted to take a little bit of setting spray and one of these or any of these shadows. Could do it, definitely could enjoy it, but it is just small enough to where when I do use it, I sometimes will reach for other things as well, I guess, or I'll want like a fun eyeliner or something like that. So those are 4 palettes are rolled out, and now let's get into the palettes that I've selected for February. I wanted to try and, do a mixture of fun palettes that are like kind of seasonal in tones for colors that I like wearing a lot this time of year, and then also some like small, easy palettes for when I do travel for work, because I've got like a training coming up and all of those things. So my fun, easy to travel with palettes are going to be my Malibu Free Spirit palette from Lorac. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's really easy to just, you can do like a bronze eye, a champagne eye, or like a pinky eye. Those are your 3 options. It's nothing crazy, but it looks good every time. It's really easy to use. And like when I really want to, I can use this as a blush, this is a bronzer, any of these champagnes as a highlight. It's kind of a whole face in one palette for me. And then I also selected my Laura Geller Blend Away Rosy and Rustic 8 Multi-Finish Eyeshadows palette. Jesus Christ, the names of these things. You can sense the theme, right? Like easy to use, neutral, leaning a little bit pink, rosy, and warm this month. I have been enjoying the purples. I did enjoy the purples, don't get me wrong, but like right now, like today, I'm like pink and warm is the vibe. I also changed up my hair since my intro. And so I think that these kinds of tones really suit my coloring right now. I feel like I cannot get the lighting right today and I look really washed out and I just can't be bothered with it anymore, so we're just gonna live with it. I also selected this Dior Backstage Eye palette, and this is the Smoky Eye Essentials one. I have only used this a handful of times. This is one of the newest palettes to my collection, but look how beautiful it is. This I thought would just be fun, like a nice fun palette, and also I want to do a mixture of kind of old and new, so like this Lorac one I've had since high school. So it's like 8 years old. So I wanted to do like some old and some newer ones in my collection. And this kind of fits the theme. It's got some like rosy warm tones as well as some fun cool tones that I can like dip into when I'm feeling a little spicy. Anyways, then a palette that I somehow always break out for February for my anniversary and Valentine's Day, all that good stuff. Huda Beauty New Nude. Exceptional palette. Another palette that I have had in my Pan Those eyeshadow palettes project. I've always thought about panning this just like as a pan that palette, and then I worry that I'm going to get sick of these tones because I love them and get super into them for a couple of months, and then I'm kind of move on and I want to do something different. So I'm sure that for this month, I'm going to be all up in this palette. Super excited. It's just a stunning palette. It's one that I got as like a Christmas gift, and it was something where I like asked for this specifically, not just like makeup in general. And I have loved it. I have worn it so much, and you can't even tell, like the mattes are very pigmented, so you just need a little bit. And I'm very excited to reach for this one. And then the last palette I selected is my Z palette. And so that has 3 shadows from MAC and 3 shadows from Terra Moon Cosmetics in it. So look at those. They're so pretty. I got these Terra Moon Cosmetics shadows a year ago for Christmas, I think, like last year, like Christmas 2024. So I have the shades Milky Way, Terra Borealis, and Palladium from Terra Moon Cosmetics. And then I have Tempting Wedge. I know this is Wedge because this is what I originally went into MAC for to get a single of. And Gleam from MAC. So I love all of these shades. I used to keep too much stuff in this Z palette. I was excited about the idea of having a Z palette that I could like use for, put a full face, do everything. And then I was like pulling stuff out of palettes that I just wasn't that interested in, and I never used it. So I just got rid of all of the noise, and I just kept the shades that I was like, oh, it's stunning. I love it. I love it so much. And so now I'm excited to dip into this and play around with it, because these, oh, okay, I'm trying not to swatch like everything, but like, look at that. Isn't that insane? Oh, it's so pretty. The first one, the Milky Way shade's a little bit flaky. Can I not? Like, look at that. I want nothing more than to like cover my face in this right now, but I have places to go in like 10 minutes. Anyways, so yeah, I'm very excited about this one. And yeah, can't wait to like cover myself in glitter. So that is everything that I have for today's video. I do think I'll be able to get through these 5 palettes, because I got through these 4 palettes in like less than a month, and it's only slightly more actual like number of eyeshadows. I also have my singles, which are mostly liquid and cream shadows, and I do want to include these in this project, but instead of like picking out ones and trying to decide in advance what I'm going to use, I'm going to come up with a system. So these are all of my single eyeshadows, and when I use one, I'm going to put it in a different place. Like I will put it in a bag in the rest of my makeup collection, so that when I'm getting ready, if I pull this drawer out, or if I put one in my everyday makeup, that's how I'm going to keep track of which ones I've used so far this year, because I really like a lot of these, but I feel like I don't use them as much as I should, especially this one in Jezebel. It's so pretty. It's like such a beautiful rose gold shade. So I want to incentivize myself to use them more because they're stunning. So these will also be included in the project, since I am already like so ahead, and I'm very excited. I also love this Danessa Myricks one. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. So I am very confident. I'm very excited, and I cannot wait to do looks. Also, like, let me know if you want me to revisit. I did a palette spotlight series a while ago where I kind of like showed me using all of the palettes in my collection, and if you'd want me to revisit any of these and do another one of those, or do a get ready with me or a palette bingo or anything, please let me know. And most of all, I hope you're having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.